Hey everybody, it's Hieu Boy with HBI Home Solution, and today I'm gonna talk to you about how to vet cash home buyers in Augusta. So if you seek to sell your house fast in Augusta, Georgia, you have probably come across a dozen of cash home buyers or we buy houses type of company, and you do want to make sure that you know how to vet them correctly before you decide to work with one of them. And the reason is because selling your house is probably one of the largest assets in your entire life. So you do want to make sure that there's a lot of moving parts that coming in now, and you do want to make sure that you have working with a home buyer that know what they're doing and making sure that they come to the finish line, the closing line on time. So here's a few tips when selecting a cash home buyers to work with in Augusta, Georgia. Without further ado, let's dive right in. So number one, you do want to ask them how many houses have they bought recently and what is the level of experience. So everyone has to start somewhere, but you don't really want to be working with a person that's never actually purchased a house before. Personally, I would let another homeowner take that risk on a brand new house buyer. The reason simply because there's a lot of moving parts and paperwork that need to go in when purchasing a house, and you do not want to work with a person with zero level of experience because chances are they might not be able to come to the closing line on time. So but nowadays, many new buyers will just claim that they have purchased house before. So how do you make sure that you're working with a legitimate house buyer? A few specific questions to ask them, like how many houses have they bought per month, and also what are some of the previous addresses of the house they buy, and can they show you some of the example before and after pictures of the house they bought and fixed up. Once you have all of those information, it's pretty easy for you to go to a county website and enter the address and see who has owned that property before, and you want to make sure that their name is in the record of the buyer for those houses, right? So if they are hesitant too much, or if they don't want to provide you with any information, that's usually a red flag. So moving on to number two, you do want to make sure that they put down earnest money, right? So earnest money is just money deposited to an escrow account, typically held by a closing attorney, and the purpose of the earnest money is to make sure that the buyer is serious about buying your house. If they back out at the last minute due to the reason of their fault, then you will be entitled to keep their earnest money. So how much earnest money you should ask them to put down, right? That's a great question. Actually, just what you want to do is go ahead and ask your buyer, hey, how much can you put down as earnest money, and see how they respond. Typically, the more earnest money they're willing to put down, the more serious they are. But as the general rule of thumb, the earnest money, at least for the industries, tend to be around 1% of the purchase price. So if you are selling your house for $100,000, the earnest money probably needs to be somewhere around $1,000. Now, we actually have put down earnest money way more than 1% before, and just to give you an example, we were working with a homeowner, but he's just feeling super skeptical and uncomfortable about the whole process. So to ease his mind, we actually put down $10,000 on a $100,000 purchase. That's a 10% earnest money. So if we ever walk away or did not perform according to the contract, he will be entitled to $10,000 to his name. So this actually makes him feel more comfortable about working with us, but we typically do not put out that much earnest money. That's that for the earnest money. So number three, you do want to make sure that your cash home buyer have an online presence and have some sort of customer testimonials or customer reviews, right? So nowadays it's pretty easy for any person to call themselves cash home buyer. It's literally a self-proclaimed title, and it just doesn't require any credential to be a cash home buyer. so you don't really know if you're working with a legitimate house buyer or just a pretty good fake actor, right? So you do want to do more research. You will just need to go into Google and enter the company name or the personal name and see what comes up. Ideally, you do want to make sure that they have at least a website that showcase who they are and what they do. That's just because most pretenders do not bother with the time and effort it takes to set up their online branding. So yeah, just do a quick Google search and see if they have any customer reviews or testimonials somewhere on Google or in their website. And you do want to pay close attention to any negative reviews that you might find online. So that's that. So just to summarize the 3 tips that we have described so far in this video. Number 1, ask them about their level of experience and proof of previous purchase. Number 2, ask them to put down earnest money to show them that they are serious about buying your house, right? Number 3, do an in-depth online research about their company and what they do, who they are, and see if they have any reviews or testimonials. So yeah, that's the 3 tips to make sure that you vet your cash house buyers in Augusta correctly. So about us, we're HBI Home Solution. Like I said, we're the most trusted house buyer in the Augusta and the CSRA region. So we buy houses around Augusta and any surrounding cities like Evans, Martinez, Epsbar, North Augusta, and things like that. So if you are serious about selling your house in Augusta, please check out our company website. Link in the description below, but it's sellhousesfast.ga.com. And when you go to that website, just make sure that you fill out a form that's gonna give us some information about your house, and we will be able to reach out to you within a few hours and give you a fair cash offer. That's it for this video. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.